Hey traders, this is Christian from Hertz, Tribeca Trade Group with a midday trade idea. I don't do these trade idea videos every day, only when something really interesting comes about. And what really got my attention this morning was the housing numbers. So last month they were a little bit negative, but this month they were very strong. And we did get some information out yesterday, which the markets reacted to. This was the NAHB Housing Market Index, which came in 64, which I think is a strong number, but it did come in lighter than expectations. So we saw some of the home builders sell off. You know, this index is kind of gauges the builder sentiment. So it is important, and it is important that it came in a little bit less than expectations. But did it warrant, you know, a sell-off, 1.5% sell-off in some of the home builders? I don't know. So I was really interested to see what the data was that was going to come out today. And the mortgage applications, which is a weekly number, which is volatile, is strong. But look at the housing. The housing starts a plus 8.3% increase. So they revised the previous month up as well. And building permits were strong. So I think looking for longs in this space makes sense. You know, we've certainly seen a lot of call buying in the ITB. This is, I know it's called a home construction ETF, but it's actually more home builders than anything else. So if you go out and you look to January, and I've talked about this a couple of times because they bought these, you know, probably months ago at this point. You could look and you could see that the open interest is 108,000 and 112,000 for these 36 and 38 calls going expiring in January. So what do we see today? We saw a nice in the money call buyer. I'm sorry, this may not be in the money, but the November 125 calls in VMC. So VMC, and I'll bring up the description of VMC for you. VMC is at trades at $125, so it's basically at the money call options. So another name that's tied to building. So the company principal product lines are aggregates, asphalt, mix and concrete, and cement. You know, generally you kind of think of things in this sense when the country is building and when there's a lot of new housing starts. You know, these types of companies I would think do pretty well. So what also was noticeable to me, as I always will look at the charts whenever we see some aggressive call buying or notable, you know, nice chunky order. First of all, we've seen order flow in VMC before, similar, you know, going out to November as well. And you know, so this was a nice chunky order. And take a look at the support it's at. So you're not buying something on the high, you know. And I know everybody is focused on the momentum names, you know, specifically the FANG stocks and the move that they've been getting the last week. But you know, I think it makes sense to not, you know, to not only have technology plays on in FANG names, to have some names on in different sectors. So if I scale into the 1-year chart, which this is a 3-year chart, I showed the 3-year chart because it is upward sloping. It's just kind of moving slow. So notice they're not going out and they're not looking for a big move. They're going out and purchasing at the money calls. The other thing that I notice here, besides the upward slope of, you know, the last few years, if you go back to the 1-year chart, you got the 200-day moving average. So they bought the calls right on support of that 200-day moving average. So I like this trade. You know, I think you have to spend a little bit more money to go out to November, but for $123 stock, I think it's a better choice than going to just purchase the stock out directly. You could also make this into a call spread. So maybe the 125, 130 call spread or 135 call spread. Note they do report earnings on August 1st. So that's why I also think it might be interesting or a little bit easier to make this into a call spread if you so choose to hold through earnings. So really nice bounce today on major support and on call buying. I'm just bringing up the option chain for November. And yeah, I mean, I think something like the 125, actually spread it out to maybe the 125, 140 call spread, I think would work quite nicely. So that may be a trade I don't have a position on yet, but something that I'm looking to put on here at the end of the day. So that's the idea for today, to go long VMC via November call spreads. In particular, I like the 125, we'll call it 125, 140 call spreads. Thanks very much for watching the video and have a great day.